All right, good evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock. It's Monday, what are we in March? March 7th, and I'd like to begin tonight by rising to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I wanted to explain to people kind of what's happening here tonight, just to go on the record, is we have been attempting to have our normally scheduled Selectmen's meeting of March 1st for almost a week now. I'll just say I've been on the board 8 years. We've always had a 5-member board. We've never had a problem getting 3 board members in a room for a meeting. You may, let's face it, people get sick, they have job commitments. These are all normal things. I'm going to be traveling next week. I had planned on using Zoom to participate, but fact of the matter is there's a few things, time-sensitive things, that need to be addressed. And, quite frankly, I don't want to play games. So, from advice of council, you'll see we do not have a quorum in the room right now. But council has advised us that if we determine there's an emergency and there's an urgency, then we can proceed with a meeting, just the urgent, time-sensitive things. And if it wants to be challenged, then people can come to a meeting, as far as I'm concerned, and challenge whether we can have a meeting with 2 members as a quorum. Because as I think was explained, you can participate as another board member and vote using electronic means, Zoom or the telephone. But in the room, you have to have you have to have a quorum. So, transparent out there, this is an emergency meeting. It's going to be just a few items that are deemed time sensitive. So,
can I chime in? I'm just going to say this according to RSA 91A-22. It is an emergency meeting is permitted when we are a quorum, meaning we can create a quorum because I'm on video. That is what an emergency meeting will let us do. So this would be an official meeting because the townspeople deserve a meeting. We can't have the town come to a standstill.
Yep, thank you. So we do not have the chairman here. We do not have the vice chairman here. So. And
Selectman Kate Michaels here. I would like to have a motion here that due to absences of certain members as well as potential conflict of interest issues, I am making a motion to make Matthew Burrell our interim chairman of the Select Board.
Second.
All right, discussion. All right, roll call. Kate, how do you vote?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
And I guess I'm an aye.
So is that just for tonight?
Yes, until our next meeting, because we have a new board technically.
Actually, let's ask Kate. It was her motion.
I'd say the motion will be until the next appropriate time you would take a vote. Once you have a new Board of Selectmen, there is usually that week or the following week you take a vote to rearrange who's going to be chair. Given what's been going on, we need to make this until that time. So it could be, right, as to the purview of the new Board of Selectmen, it could be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, but it's not permanent.
Okay.
Do you know the meeting I'm referring to, Matt? Yes, I know you do.
Okay, thank you. So I'll continue to run the meeting tonight. So, the first item, as I said, I'm doing the time-sensitive stuff, is residents' complaint. So I think most people have probably heard through various sources. We received last week 2 complaints from 2 individual residences, complaints against a elected official. So if people wonder why we're discussing this complaint in public, if you look at the RSA, complaints against elected officials have to be done outside of non-public. So we have a complaint process, a complaint policy. Usually it's supposed to start with the town administrator. And I think everybody realizes town administrator would be responding to a complaint about the people that she works for. So it's not your average everyday complaint that the town administrator can handle. So we wanted to make sure, at least most of us, wanted to make sure we took a vote to establish where we go next, which, let's face it, you're innocent until proven guilty. So I believe, and I think the other board members here would agree, that we need to investigate further. And we need to do so with a third party that can be independent and then can come back and report back to us. To do so, I think what makes sense is the town administrator has been in touch with Primex, our insurance carrier. There's an agency that they recommend. They do this all the time, basically. We've already been in touch with them just to kind of get more information through legal advice. So I think what we want to try to do tonight is put that in writing, so to speak, put it as a motion and move forward so that the town can move on, as far as I'm concerned. Any other comments on this?
Well, can I make my motion to that end? Comments can still occur that in
Yeah,
keeping with what
in
you're
the
saying.
discussion period, yeah.
Yeah, that I'm making a motion for Nancy Wrigley to hire independent counsel, Attorney Ford and Oliver, to conduct an investigation of the complaints.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion from anybody? No, hearing no discussion.
1 second.
Oops, sorry. We probably want to be in front of the mic,
You need to state your name too, please.
because it's gonna be on cable and on stream and everything.
Laura Hillage, West Main Street, one of the people who brought forward the complaint. I was just possibly just going to read the email that I sent earlier.
So can I ask a favor? Because we got the email. It's a lengthy email. Could you hit the highlights of the email?
Basically,
Yeah.
along with the situation, the situation is going to be dealt with the way it's going to be dealt with. What bothers me the most right now is that somebody complained in October. That's what the whole situation was, that I had an interaction. I saw something on Twitter 2 years ago. I said something to him then. I did not say anything else. I did not look into who he was talking to. So a lot of why I reported it is because my own name was there if something happens down the line. The person that supposedly, there was a complaint in October, the problem that I have is because of this situation, nothing was done about that. The person had to come in and do a formal complaint, take a day out of work, they don't live around here, etc. So he decided, I believe, probably in October, started deleting everything. I know that's when it was deleted. So from October to now, who knows what's missing? I'm sure it can be, somebody that knows what they're doing can find things. I'm afraid that the town will not research it enough to the extent of being able to use technology to recover things or see what has been done. My concern going forward is that when there's a complaint, there needs to be people willing to come in and sign their name on something in order for it to go forward. And I wouldn't do Nancy's job for all the money in the world. I think she's an amazing person. I can't even tell you what she does for this town. But the way it's done, I think, has to change because there was a complaint in October, and because myself and the person I came forward with filed this complaint last week, within 24 hours, he was shown everything, which I understand that you have to show the person who's accused. Within 24 hours, he was shown everything, including our names, and I didn't have a problem with it necessarily until he started threatening me on Friday, and I realized, why do they have to show my name? And in addition, now, this is gonna scare people from coming forward. Look at what, everybody knows Laura's the big mouth, doesn't really mind in this situation, but I'm not gonna go there and report something because, they turned around and gave out her name the next day and the other person's name. I think that's ridiculous. This person has been accused of sexual harassment, soliciting, all this other stuff, taking selfies for his dating site while he's in our new fire station. And the other aspect of it, of the type, the sexuality issue of it not necessarily being females, those are the types of things that drive people to lose their mind. For all I know right now, he's getting booted out of his house, his family hates his guts. Who do you think that's gonna land on? I think it's really irresponsible for that process to be done that way. I live by myself with my young son. I don't keep guns in the house. Everybody knows where I live in town, and yeah, I probably should have thought of that ahead of time, but also I didn't think it would just be. And as far as I know, he was harassing me on the cell phone the town still hasn't taken from him. Why? And then when I asked about it, and I understand why, again, but Nancy can't talk about that. He harassed me on the cell phone. You can't tell me that you didn't that you didn't take it from him. It's ridiculous. Then he obviously still has a pretty, he thinks he's gonna get away with this because he did it while he was working at Lawrence Fire, while I was listening on the scanner. So I think something needs to be done because there's gonna be a lawsuit in town if something happens. You forget Turtle Boy. This will end up being a horrible story with a horrible ending, and I think you owe it to the residents of the town to protect them when it comes to this stuff. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Just a couple of things, and I might have Nancy jump in here and anybody else, is kind of the first thing is you made reference to an October complaint. In October, and Nancy can jump in, some emails came out from somebody who, talked about certain behavior, and then Nancy's response on behalf of the town was via email to get more information from the person. That person so far, and I think everybody knows about the meeting shortly thereafter, the public meeting where I talked about this, the door is still open for that person to actually give us their contact information. They did not have any contact information other than the email. Policy-wise, we want to be able to interview them, get more information from them. Thus far, Nancy, I think, still nothing from that person.
Sent the form 3 times.
Right. So we don't necessarily need people to walk into town hall and fill out a form. We just need the information that's on the form, which is so. The other thing I will add is, so anyway, that was that situation. The other thing too is, you might have a point in terms of updating our complaint process to protect anonymity. I would argue that we do try to protect anonymity. It's not inherent probably in the process, but we have to understand too, this is unusual, this type of complaint. And I think you've probably already talked to the police, but certainly I would say it up here in front of the board. If you feel threatened, the police are the first ones you should go to. And Nancy, did you want to add anything?
Nancy sent the police over actually Friday.
Okay, good. But Nancy, in terms of reporting and all that stuff, do you want to add anything?
I'm not a professional HR person, I guess you could say, so this is all new to me as well. I did reach out to town council, I did reach out to Primex to talk to them about it. No one told me don't give out names. All I kept hearing was he has a right to know who the accuser is.
I don't blame you in this at all.
And I feel really, really bad about it. I'm just trying to do what I'm being told to do, and I really didn't have any guidance as far as this part of it goes. So I apologize to everybody.
And you know, don't take it that we're blaming Nancy either. The process is what it is. And I'll say this, and this is strictly my opinion. I've been on the board for 8 years. What's that? I'm sorry, was there a comment? Okay, thank you. So I've been on the board for 8 years, and it's very difficult to keep anything confidential. Just a comment. So we try, but you know.
I would certainly second that comment, and hopefully I'm in the next administration, you just pay attention to that, because I say nothing in our private meetings. And it's amazing what people discover within 24 hours. It's really upsetting.
Should we finish our motion with council and then go to public?
Yeah.
comment?
Well, this is kind of the
Okay.
comment
Yeah.
period, so, but it looks like Mike has something to
Sure.
say.
Wait, can I just have to add one thing? What was very upsetting, and while we're having an emergency meeting, is our intention. We can do nothing individually. And if any of us does it individually, it's incorrect. We can only do this as a board, and we've been trying to meet as a board for a while now. And hopefully we can address all these concerns today.
I think, Mike, if you had something to add.
Mike Bavero, Newton resident. I want to continue with one of Laura's topics, and I think it's extremely important. Here and going down the road, Matt, you said a few minutes ago, this is a unique situation. It is. It doesn't follow under the policy guidelines that exist right now. I think if you could make a motion, you're innocent until proven guilty. There's no question about that statement. I believe strongly there's other people in town that have things they would like to come forth with. They're not going to come forth based upon how you conducted yourself to this point.
I got 3 personal messages about this.
But let me finish with that. So I don't know if you can take a motion now at this meeting. If people come forward with complaints based upon this situation with the public official, I think you take them. I don't think they have to be anonymous. I think a person has to want to at least expose who they are in the complaint. I don't think, and there's law enforcement in the room right now, I think you'll come to find out the normal procedure is the complainants fill out a form. Those forms are verified by people, as it would be Nancy, the other board members, and are not shown to somebody that has the allegations brought up against them. Later in an investigation, in a courtroom, maybe that goes to that degree. But I don't think at your initial meeting or whatever, I don't think you should disclose that, because you said it, and I think everybody in this room would agree. If people think they're going to have their names given 24 hours after they file a complaint, you're going to have no complaints. They're not coming. And I think that's 100% wrong.
We definitely have to crack down on stuff getting out. In addition to that, with the complaints, we're unfortunately limited legally. So I hear everything you're saying. I know there's certain exceptions made in sexual harassment cases, I know in the RSAs. That's if that person directly is a victim of harassment, that their names can be kept private. I'd like to look into I won't be here in a few days, but make a motion to look into, to talk to council, what kind of policy we can do and do as much as we can legally in regard to what Mr. Bavero and everyone is wanting. Does that seem, that's all we can do.
I listen, I don't know the laws. I don't
'cause
know
it was
the
really upsetting when you
RSAs.
read
I
the
apply
RSAs.
common sense to everything I do. Everything I do, I apply common sense to it. And common sense is telling me if there are people and residents in this town that have issues pertaining to this subject, they are not going to come forth and file a complaint if they know within 24 hours their names are going to be given out. That makes no sense. None.
But I think what she's saying, Mike, is if we just looked at it from a common sense standpoint,
Yeah.
probably all of us would agree.
Yeah.
But we also have the legality of it. You know, I think everybody knows what a 91A request is. So it's a bit more complicated than something we could take a vote on right now tonight to say, okay, this is what we're going to do moving forward.
Yeah, we
can
want to
pe-
find out how we can do it.
Yeah.
So let me ask
Properly.
another suggestion. Can people come in and fill a complaint personally and not sign it?
Well,
An anonymous
That's-
complaint?
We need to find out.
the form has the fields that they fill out, and one is right at the top is name and contact information.
The problem is you can't make a complaint because then people can make and not be able to discuss with the person who made the complaint and follow up.
No, I think you could still, I think my presentation is wrong. I think the
Yeah, I
complaint
think
could
we
still be
agree with
given.
you.
And we're talking apples and oranges. Listen, if a resident comes into town in Nancy and complains, I knocked over a mailbox, I think you can share that with the guy that might run the highway department.
I think you're right. There has to be something we can talk to council. If people fear their safety or that they're going to be threatened as a result of their complaint, we need to find out how we make that, incorporate that into our policy. The other thing that people should know, which is different, is there is a completely different set of rules for elected officials and for town employees. It's shocking and what one can do. But I'm sure Matt might get into that later briefly.
All right.
Yeah,
And again, I'm going to go back to, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
So
Yeah, these are a lot of allegations so far.
I think the faster this gets rolling and you get to a determination whether it's innocent or guilty, benefits everybody,
Yeah.
including the town.
Yeah, hence the emergency meeting too.
So I think just to sum that up, I don't think we're saying no, but we're not saying yes yet. So, yeah.
We're going to figure out how
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
And
Lisa, on your resident, I just have one quick thing to say. The only thing I want to say here is that during my term as selectman, that's when this particular complaint form was developed, drafted, and approved by the board. It was not provided to us. It is something that we came up with to try to streamline the process. As such, I do believe the board can revisit the form itself.
Sure.
And that is what I am recommending that you do.
Sure.
I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree.
And with the right to know laws, again, getting counsel and making sure it's done properly.
Yep.
We take all this very seriously. We also want to put out there, these are allegations. I'm hearing things that are alleged that I haven't heard before. And we take it very seriously. And what is appropriate in this situation for example, when this happens to a town employee, it does not mean they are guilty. This is just what is done, that we were asked for the advice of council and best practices. I have to make a motion to put our town employee, Mr. Larry Foote, on paid
I'm sorry,
administrative-
Kate, can I?
Yes?
We haven't
Not yet?
finished one motion yet.
Oh, I thought we
So-
finished the other one already.
No.
Yeah, no, this was comment.
gang.
Yeah, thank you. So,
Oops, stop.
before I close out comments, any other comments before we
The
do that?
motion to hire,
That was the original
counsel,
motion.
yeah, legal
Yeah,
counsel for
That's
next
still there.
So it's been motioned, it's been seconded, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to do a roll call vote. Kate, how do you vote?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
And Matt will be an aye. So that motion carries. So the next motion, Kate?
So again, as for the advisement of council and what is considered best practices, I'm making a motion to put our town employee, Larry Foote, on paid administrative leave during the investigation, effective immediately. This leave would have to include his two positions as fire department member and town emergency management director.
Okay. Seconded by Edvin. And any other comments before we move on? Okay, so I'm going to call for a vote on that. So Kate, how do you vote?
Aye.
Edvin, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Matt will be an aye. So did you have another vote, another motion related to that, Kate? I'm gonna make a motion. I'm going to make a motion to direct, on behalf of the Board of Selectmen, direct all town employees and officials to cooperate fully with the investigation of this alleged activity as we move forward. And this will include surrendering of any town devices, cell phones, smartphones, laptops, whatever may be required. So can I get a second on that one?
Second.
Any comments? Okay, going to call for a vote. Kate, how do you vote?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
And Matt's an aye, so that one carries as well. So, Nancy, I think, do you have everything you need to move forward here? Was there anything else you expected from the board tonight?
I don't think so.
You know, the only, only other thing I would add is, you know, we tried, and when I say we, I'm speaking for the 3 board members that are voting tonight. We tried to do this earlier, like last week earlier, but here we are, and I think, you know, this should have moved quicker, but, you know, unfortunately, I don't like the way it's turned out so far. Hopefully, things will move in the right direction now. So, again, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kate.
Go ahead. I have another motion I just thought of.
Okay.
That I wanted to do. I was investigating, you know, again, there are completely different standards of ethics and conduct for employees versus elected officials. Elected, if you even read it, you'd be like, you have to be declared insane or some other thing. It's the only way, or you vote them out. I'm just ad-libbing here, but it was pretty intense. I did notice in our code of ethics, which is traditional, you know, it was a very good code of ethics. Some towns have code of conduct. I would like to make a motion that the new policy committee should implement, not very intense, but just standard codes of conduct that would, I'm sure, make people feel safer and more comfortable and understand things better within their work environment in Newton.
Second.
All right, any discussion? So that would be so people know that would be a to-do list item for the policy committee going into the next few weeks, once we have the new board put together and stuff like that. So call for a vote. Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
And Matt's an aye, so that carries. So we are going to leave this topic.
I just want to make
Go ahead.
so I made a Facebook post earlier in the week for my reason for missing last week's meeting. Should I read it? Probably should.
I think the highlights is probably.
I'll highlight it real quick. So Governor Baker of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts signed a bill in 2020, which makes police reform in the Commonwealth, meaning I have to attend 200 hours of extra training. That training, unfortunately, finally caught up to me. And last week I couldn't attend a meeting because of that fact. I apologize to the townspeople. And this is my last week of training, so I will be at every meeting so on, barring any other police reform. So yeah, I do apologize to the townspeople, apologize to the people who voted for me, apologize to the people who didn't vote for me, and it will not happen in the foreseeable future.
And I'd just like to add, and I said it earlier, this is a part-time board, right? I'll have day jobs. I think most of us have day jobs or did. You know, some people are retired. So we have obligations through work. It's going to happen. We're going to miss meetings because of work. We're going to miss meetings because people are sick. Certainly through COVID, we saw that. We're going to miss meetings because we have families. We take vacations. That's going to happen. And you know, the key thing I think is communication with the other board members to let them know if you cannot make a meeting. And I think Edvin is a good example. I think last week, well, before last week, I think going into last week, he gave us that info. So that's the key thing. But I don't, you know, personally, Edvin, it's nice that you apologize, but this stuff happens, right?
Yeah, I know.
But we're going to leave this topic, so I don't think
Mr. Chairman, may I speak?
Go ahead, Trish.
Sorry, it's Tricia. And I'm not turning on my video because I'm on my 22nd day of shingles and I look like the monster of the year. Although I did buy sunglasses to kind of hide my face. But my question is, Obviously, this is, unfamiliar territory. Homeland Security, FEMA, and Seabrook, we're in the middle of quite a few things, and until this gets resolved, as the deputy, are you allowing me to sign the documents that have to be signed?
Yeah, it sounds like we need a motion.
Motion to make Trish McCarthy the
Acting.
acting Director of Emergency Management.
I'll
Town meeting.
second. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote. Kate, how do you vote?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt's an aye, so that motion carries.
Thank you.
Appoint instead of make, just for,
Appoint.
You cool with that?
I'm cool with it.
I didn't hear that.
Appoint.
She's already deputy, just so you know.
Yeah, so
she's
she's acting director.
as director, not deputy.
Yep, yep.
So,
Trish, is that what you needed, Trish?
I think so. I mean, we've got a Homeland Security, obviously the grant, I'm the contact on that, and Larry was a contact, and Nancy was the second contact. So I'm okay with that. But some of the things that are coming forward with ARPA, which I'm frantically working on, that grant, and the Seabrook drill, which is coming up, I just want to make sure that if this situation isn't resolved and Larry's back, that I have the authority to sign.
Yep.
so can I ask for clarification, because I couldn't quite hear what Lisa was saying. So the motion is to make
Appoint Trish McCarthy.
Appoint Trish, not, okay, appoint. Okay. Appoint Trish McCarthy as acting EMD?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is that good, Trish?
Yes, I think that will qualify. I mean, I guess I have to notify the various departments so that I get the emails, because right now I know they're probably going to Larry, and then he forwards them to me, and then I act on them accordingly. But I will check into that, well, not tomorrow, during elections. I'll get on that on Wednesday and make sure that I don't need anything else from you as a board.
All right.
Can we just give her a blanket authority, because this is an employed position for the
Well-
town, so we can.
Well,
Can
my
we just
my
do that?
thing is we just appointed her acting EMD director, so to me that goes with any
Okay.
Okay.
any of the actions. Nancy, you
Are
have
you
some?
telling all the other department heads to stop emailing anything to Larry at this time as far as fire and emergency management?
That's what leave is.
Yes.
He's on administrative leave, so.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's aware, because it didn't spell that out.
Yep.
That's all.
And there are
Okay,
certainly
Good point, Nancy. Okay.
certainly things that if anybody has any questions, they can ask Nancy if there's any questions going forward. So we don't necessarily have to go.
Larry has selected in emails to the board. Is he still getting emails? Why is he forwarding emails?
So we need people to come to the microphone
Yeah.
if they're going to speak. Otherwise, I can't do my job after the meeting.
But I'll tell you what, I'll do that one. So I think, Kim, you were asking, do you include Larry as a Board of Selectmen in distributions via email? And I'll let the rest of the board speak, but I think we have to. As Kate alluded to, there's a difference being an elected official and being a hired official. So I think we have to. Any board members have a differing opinion?
No, there's no administrative leave for a Board of Selectmen. You're either voted out or it's a long process. That's it. So yeah, I don't think we can, I think we have to include him.
Yep.
He's still a member of the Board of Selectmen.
I think Laura on the same question.
But we should probably, just check with council.
Don't we hire the RMON people? They should be
RMON, yeah.
revoked. Shouldn't his access to everything related to the town be revoked?
I don't think
I'm
that will be handled
I'm
as.
just speaking to Trish, saying that
Yeah.
he's forwarding to her.
Yeah.
So if something's going on in town right now, he knows about it.
Well, let's handle that as part of what our first motion was, to empower the town administrator
Is
to
he forwarding
move
her the
forward.
emails using the town cell phone? I mean, I feel like it's being made to be a joke.
Yeah, it's not being made to be a joke, so.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, any other discussion on this topic? Anyone kind of going once? So I always say this, we're going to move on to a couple of other items that are probably quick items, but if you want to leave because you were only here for that item, we don't take it personally. So if you need to leave, feel free. Going to move on to item D, which is the new hire of a cable operator, which we sorely need to back up our single cable operator. I think, Edvin, you know this.
So motion to hire Mr. Kevin O'Rourke as the cable operator 1, the effective date of March 1st, 2022.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Did you say March 1st?
That's what it says, yes.
Can we do today?
Yeah, of
since
course,
we
yeah,
haven't
March,
done
yeah,
it
yeah, no, I
yet?
got you.
Yeah, that's for the-
So effective March 7th.
Thank
Right
you.
on here.
Okay, I'm still a second. Roll call vote. Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
And Matt's and I, so that one passes. Thank you. So the next one we wanted to do was, we had a previous vote of an agreement for groundwater monitoring at the transfer station. So all we have to do tonight is sign. So we've already voted on this one. So I would, and this is the requisition at the bottom here, Diane, right?
Can I make a motion that the chair can sign
No,
for all of
oh,
us?
you're doing E,
Mr.
E? You're doing E?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
doing F.
No.
Oh, F, sorry.
E as well.
Okay, so F, you just need a motion to sign the agreed agreement, that's all. That's not the requisition.
That's for the
Okay.
testing of the water.
That is okay.
Yeah.
So anybody want to make that motion?
Motion to sign the testing of the water agreement.
Yeah, motion to have the chair sign,
sign,
acting
yeah.
chair.
No, all of you
sign the-
need to sign it.
All of us need to sign it.
Well,
Motion
the
for-
acting chair, we can authorize the acting
All
chair
right,
to do
let's
it.
clean up the motion. So do you want to try it again, Edvin?
Motion to have the acting chair sign, since only 2 of us can sign it.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that a second for you, Kate?
Second,
Okay.
yes.
All right, roll call vote. Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
And Matt's and I. Okay, and then the last one, we wanted to do the manifests.
I'll read them.
Okay, do you have them in front of you?
Unless, Kate, you want to read your last manifest?
Right.
No.
All right. Motion to sign vendor manifest dated February 1st, 2022 in the amount of $803,514.45, of which $731,037 goes to the February Sanborn Regional School District payment.
Second.
Seconded by Kate. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote. Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
And Matt's and I.
Motion to sign cable vendor manifest dated February 1st, 2022 in the amount of $2,046.65.
Second.
Seconded by Kate. Any discussion? All right, we're going to do a roll call. Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
And Matt's and I.
Motion to sign payroll manifests for the pay period January 16th to the 29th, 2022, with a pay date of February 3rd, 2022. Total payroll is $52,059.76, which includes $685.14 ARPA administrative costs and $3,325 ARPA vaccine clinic held on January 16th, 2022.
Second.
Seconded by Kate. Any discussion?
Just quick, don't go anywhere yet on that one.
We still voting though?
Yeah, don't vote yet, don't. What were your numbers there?
Second.
One second. Which one do you want? All of them?
You said signed payroll manifest, what was the date?
I have February 13th to the 26th.
Okay, all right, and you had a payroll of $53,769.83?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I thought I misheard you say something there.
No, you might have. My paper changed.
I thought I heard January in there.
That's what
somewhere.
I thought I heard.
So we've cleaned that up. So it's still a second, Kate, right?
But the number's the same.
Yep.
Okay.
So the numbers are all different, though.
Okay.
Why don't I hand you this?
Is it different than
That's a printout of.
13th to the 26th? That's the one I read. But all right, let's revamp that real quick.
Yeah.
Signed payroll manifest for pay period different from my computer. Pay period, February 13th to 26th, 2022, with a pay date of March 3rd, 2022. Total payroll is $53,769.83, which includes $182.70 of ARPA administrative costs and $3,225 ARPA payroll for vaccine clinic held on February 13th, 2022.
Thank you.
Second.
It's in my screen.
Seconded by Kate. Any discussion?
I have a discussion.
Sure.
So, and again, I don't have anything in front of me, and it's probably not on the payroll manifest, and Diane, you can probably check this, but I want to make sure that the public understands that we did buy touchless charge machines for the town clerk due to COVID, and that ARPA is covering it. So it was probably on your previous manifest, but I just want to make sure. And I don't have the figure in front of me. It was like $500 and something for each one, and we bought
Yeah, I
two.
believe that was on our last manifest at the end of February.
Okay.
That sounds
that was
familiar.
when I first got
Yeah.
shingles. Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure. Sorry.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so we had a second, so roll call vote. Kate
Aye.
and Edvin
Aye.
and Matt's and I, so that one passes. Is there another one left
We have a
on?
requisition. Can we sign it?
Well, you've already voted on this.
Yeah, that was the one
This is just
from,
the paperwork.
yeah, which we did already.
Yeah.
That was the motion to sign.
Yeah, to sign it. Okay, yeah,
So
so
we're good with that one. Okay, I think in terms of time-sensitive stuff, that's all we have for tonight. So,
I just did want to take a minute and thank Kate Michaels
oh,
for
true,
her
yeah.
3 years of service to the town of Newton. We all know how tough it is to be a publicly elected official. And Kate, we thank you very much for your service. We hope you come back.
Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
I am very sad that my health issues have kept me from being in person for the last few months.
Yes, thank you. I
And
you
good
know,
luck to all of
echo.
you.
Yeah, thank you. I echo what Edvin said. We should note then that tomorrow's voting at the fire station, 8 to 8. Hope everybody turns out. The weather's supposed to be nice. And anything else before?
Yes, Mr.
Diane's got
Chairman.
something? Hold on, Diane's got something?
Can you just do the minutes from the February 15th so I can post them?
Yeah, I guess that's time sensitive. So I would move to approve the Selectmen's non-public and public meeting minutes from February 15, 2022.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote. Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt's and I. And I think, Trish, were you trying to say something?
Is that the public?
Yes, one
and
last thing
non-public?
that is, oops, is somebody else talking?
Is it public and non-public?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead, Trish.
Sorry, Nance. It's time sensitive. I just want to make sure that everyone knows this Sunday at the fire station, we are having another vaccine clinic 9 to 1. We've got all 3 doses plus the booster plus the children's shots ages 11 to 15. And I've already arranged to have trauma services come in the next day to sanitize, as well as trauma services is coming in the day after Election Day. And I'm having them come in the afternoon just in case we're not finished closing up all the booths and everything. But I mainly wanted to remind you about the vaccine clinic.
When was that clinic?
The clinic is this Sunday. The state scheduled it, so it really was nothing to do with us. Because we had so many people that got their first shot, 4 weeks later, they had to have their second shot. So the state scheduled it for March 13th, which is this Sunday, from 9 to 1.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. I do want to say something, since this may be the last chance, that I wanted to definitely thank so much the staff at Town Hall, who are incredible. They work so hard. They have a lot of challenge daily. They do an incredible job. So thank you so, so much. And, you know, I'm going out on not the best day here. And it may feel I don't know if anyone's even watching this, people of Newton, but I mean, this is a great town. It really is. We've had the skateboard park. We have incredible engagement. We have the new playground. Please just remember, this is so much more good in this town than what's happening this evening. And I have very high hopes going forward. And this is a very difficult job as well. So you guys, Matt and Edvin, it's been great working with all of you.
You too. That's a
you.
great way to
All of you.
leave it tonight, I think. So I'm going to move to adjourn the meeting at 6:45 p.m. Second. All right.